For the last 20 years, since the collapse of the Soviet Union, we've generally thought of sort of a Russia that is inward-looking, focusing on itself and trying to sort of shore up its influence in Eurasia, in the former Soviet countries, and maybe a few areas right alongside that. But what we've seen just in the last three years, and I think we probably started seeing it more starting when Putin returned to the presidency in 2012, is a Russia that has been trying to act more on a global stage, to try and exert influence in different parts of the world, not quite to the same extent that it did in the Soviet era, but trying to use the various tools that it has to sway public opinion, to sway political leaders, political elites, to create certain types of dependencies of some countries on Russia. They had more success in some of their information operations around the world. Russia didn't invent the West's problems, didn't invent the current political crisis that we have here in Washington, but they've certainly been able to take advantage of it, and they've certainly been able to take advantage of divisions inside the United States, divisions inside of Europe, and so I think they've been very savvy in that ability to sort of see an opportunity and take it. And I think as sort of the U.S. sort of retreats from the world, there's a lot more opportunities for Russia to step in, whether that's in Afghanistan, where you're seeing a much more active Russia, whether that is in Latin America. In the last year or so, we've alienated Mexico, we've alienated several Latin American countries, and a lot of these countries are looking for alternate partners, and Russia is right there, willing to be a partner. We haven't seen them be as effective in places like Asia. Yes, they certainly are trying to grow their economic footprint, but they're running into China as they do that, and their pivot to Asia pretty much has been a pivot. The successful part of it has been more of a pivot to China, and it's one that is, China is definitely on the stronger end of that partnership. And at times I also wonder if Russia might get too far stretched, and I also wonder whether Syria is a success or not. I mean, they certainly have changed the outcome of that war. Assad is still there. They've helped prop up that regime, but the violence is continuing. The plight of the Syrian people is no way better than it was before, and so I think they've effectively changed sort of the outcome, or at least the way in which that war was moving. But they haven't ended it, and they have no clear path out and no clear path to fix Syria. And I think that is that's a potential long-term issue for them. When we sort of talk about global Russia, I think the biggest thing that we are careful not to do is to sort of say Russia is a threat everywhere. There are certain things, in certain places they clearly are a threat. The sort of intervention and in the U.S. political system is certainly a threat to the United States. But I think we need to have a rational conversation about Russia. Not every activity it's doing in the world is against our interests, and some they risk overstepping.